What's going on, everyone? Today I want to show you something I got last winter. I used it quite a bit last winter. Let's get right into it. So as you can tell from the thumbnail, it was hooked up to this. This is my 2013 Raptor, but you don't know what it is yet. And this is what it is. It is a 2018 Ice Castle RV edition. So for those of you that don't know, a ice castle is basically a camper that lowers right down to the ice, and you can ice fish in comfort with this, and you don't have to have a flip-up shed. There's propane heat, there's electricity, there's everything you can think of. Let's go take a look. So as I just said, this lowers down to the ice. It's done with this. It is all crank. A lot of the new ones have hydraulic controls on them where you just push a button and it lifts and lowers, but I'm not rich enough for that, so I get to do it manually, and that kind of sucks. It's hard, especially when it's 20 below, but it's still better than sitting in a flip over ice shack. So when you're lowering this down, you have the front cable here. You put the front end down first, and this whole jack kind of tilts up. Obviously, you have to be unhooked from the vehicle, but then you go halfway down with one side, you will end up going all the way down with the other, and then you go all the way down with this, and this piece of steel right here sits flat on the ice. Here's my dog. I don't know what she's doing. She's weird. But we'll go through the outside here real quick, then go inside and get into the meat and potatoes of the whole ordeal. But there's two 30-pound propane tanks in here. Nozzles are up top to open the bottles, and then after that, you turn the thermostat on inside, and she kicks right up. There is a toilet in here. Here's the sewer dump, I guess you could probably call it, for the toilet that's inside. We'll, again, go look at that. Water heater. This is winterized right now, so the plug is pulled out of the back of it. And here's the city water connection. If you want to hook up to a hose, you can have water all the time. Again, this is the cable I was talking about that you drop down to the ground. And there is a lot of stuff back here, and I pulled it in close. So we're not going to be able to look back here, but here's a back view of it anyway. God, that Raptor looks nice, don't it? Am I the only one that thinks that? Again, still need tires, but... So then right before you walk in through the front door here, there is an awning, and that's kind of nice in the summer, but also kind of stinks if it's windy, like it always is in North Dakota. So it hasn't gotten used a ton, but it's still nice to have to keep you in the shade. As you can see here, it says Arctic insulation equipped. So what that means is if we come down on the ground here and go look underneath, there is spray foam underneath all of this, which is nice for when you are on ice. You have a layer of insulation between you and the ice, which is super helpful for heating purposes. So as we go inside, open the door. Ta-da, you're a genius. I'm just kidding, you're not. I lied to you. Flip the light on in here. Here is the inside of it. The last time I used this was for camping, so there is still summer stuff in here, but again, front door. This is the view from the front door, and we will go through all of it. So right now, I'm not plugged into the wall. I don't have a generator running. I'm just running on 12-volt battery. So here's the main shutoff for that, off, on, and then light switches for in here. This might be for... Not gonna lie, guys, I don't know what that one does. I think this one is for the lights underneath the awning for during the summer. Not gonna lie, this is really gonna bug me. I cannot remember what that's for, but must not be too important. And then this is for the awning as well. So you have electric controls for all of that. And I guess I didn't do the 120 volt switch. Not gonna work because I'm not, like I said, not plugged in. Don't have a generator running. But that is for this light and that light. So again, like I said, use this last for camping. Normally it does not have this. It is just the black cushion here. But the gentleman who I bought this from prior had this custom made, so you have a little bit more foam when you're sleeping. I mean, it's not quite doubled the sleeping layer, but it's pretty close, and actually it makes it a lot more comfy. Well, it's gorgeous outside today. Let's take a minute and say thank you to today's sponsor. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing fetch with my dog. So when you are not sleeping here, I don't know if you can see, but there's 3 legs in here, 3 silver legs. Those come out underneath here. I got 3 longer legs, and you can turn this into a table. So there's room for 2 to sleep here. Up here, this is another bed. This folds down. I like keeping it up because when you're sleeping here, you sit up, sometimes you bonk your head on it and it don't feel the best, speaking from experience, especially after a few drinks when you're fishing. It is not real fun. So you need to leave. You're breathing hard. Go back outside and run. There also is a radio in here. Speakers up above the bed. Speakers up front. And then there's also a couple speakers outside. It does have Bluetooth. You can connect to the radio. You know, pretty standard. Pretty comparable to a car. And you probably can't tell, but there is a ton of windows in here too. Yeah, I guess I don't know what else you say about windows, but these curtains primarily stay closed, and when you turn the lights off and it is dark outside, or even light outside, I should say, it is amazing at how dark it is in here when it is pure daylight out. As you can see right here, this is my battery voltage. It is kind of low right now because I have not had power hooked up to this thing for most of the summer, but underneath this bench here, there is 2 big batteries under there for powering the lights, the radio, all that different stuff. Sorry, I'm moving around so much, guys. I just got her in here, and I'm trying to keep her out of the mouse traps. We don't need a foot in a mouse trap. Don't sound very fun. But to continue on here, small refrigerator. Don't look at me, I'm ugly. Let's get this opened up. It is opened up. It is nothing to brag about. It's pretty small, but it's nice for during the summer. Obviously, during the winter when you're ice fishing, you can just put everything out on the ice, but I don't even think there's anything in here. Nope, empty. I believe this runs off of propane or electricity. I'm going to get out of that. You don't need to look at me anymore. But I believe this runs off of propane and electricity. I've never used it. I've only used this thing once during the summer. So, yeah. And I had coolers, and it was just for beer. So, okay, we're getting close to the end here. Couch folds into a bed. Pretty simple. You just lift it up and folds down. This actually may be comfier than that. Another bed. Again, keep it up. I don't like bonking my head. Way easier that way. So we just talked about couch, bed, another window, outlet. Here is the bathroom. Super small. Like I'm not the tallest. I'm only like 6'3", but no, I'm just kidding. I'm super short. But if you were 6'3", you probably would not be able to use the shower. It is very small. I'm actually very short, and it is not fun to shower in there. A couple storage compartments here. Sink. Since we're talking about water, I did forget to show you guys this. We come underneath the couch here. I just got this fitted sheet on here for Ding Dong here because she likes jumping on there and scratching it. So that's what that's for. But I mentioned the water heater. It's down there. Again, it's winterized right now, so we do not have any water, but you do get hot water from the sink and hot water from the shower. I wouldn't drink the water out of here, but it's nice. Rinse your hands, take a shower, whatever you got to do. Cabinet, just got garbage bags, stuff like that. Microwave, don't work half bad. Down here is the fresh water tank. So it's only a 15-gallon tank in here. It is small. I'm going to keep going with this. I just threw my dog outside. I'm sorry if you guys just had to hear the whole time. But if you're still here, please keep listening. I really appreciate it. I was talking. There's only a 15-gallon water tank in here, so it does not go very far for showers, but it's still better than nothing. Small little oven, little 3-top burner, little range, light, fan, and then TV. So with the TV, there is a antenna mounted on the top of this, which you probably could not see from outside since it's in the shop here, but it doesn't work the best, to be honest with you. A lot of the time, I just turn a hotspot on my phone and watch Netflix or football or whatever I want to watch from here. But it's, yeah, I mean, it works good. I also got an underwater camera that I can put to this, and with that underwater camera, you know, you can look at the same thing in 2 spots. If you have kids or whatever it may be, they get a huge kick out of that. So now let's talk about storage. Storage here, storage here. Other than that, it's pretty tight. You get a little bit here underneath the couch, but there's not a ton. I just got plastic bags in here, but again, you can see it's not very deep. It is pretty small. And if we come over to this one's a lot wider, but I also keep everything in here. So I have a slug of stuff in here, mostly junk, but it's still in here. And then thermostat, like I said, for heat. This only controls the heat. Up here's the AC, which, again, does not run off the thermostat. You just have these 2 knobs here and some vents. So typically, whenever I am not using this, I turn this 12-volt main shutoff off, just because I've heard it's really hard on those batteries if you kill them all the way. So I was told to shut it off if you're not using it. And you can kind of see it right there is that TV antenna I was telling you about. Again, doesn't work the best, but it's still a nice option to have. But if you're new to the channel, drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment, any of the above. Tell me I'm ugly. That's fine. I don't care. But thanks for watching if you're still here. It means a lot. Helps me out a lot, and I appreciate it.